When I tell y'all, I ain't never had grits that taste like that. Them grits be slamming. They had chicken. Yo, listen. Never in my life. The food was slamming. The environment was great. We had black trivia. There was some questions about the host because he's a host and he's a co-host. He's a big ice cup cut. Yeah. Very laid back podcast, but they have like music, voicemails, people call and ask for advice, emails, all black advertisement. You know what I'm saying? It's all black everything. And he let everybody know. It's not for y'all. We had this one white lady try to call. He was like, next. Yeah, you can kind of tell she was from the Caucasus Mountains. But and then he has like great sound bites. You probably seen him like on Instagram if you was ever on. But how I discovered him, he had this sound bite. He was like, let's focus on the last 40 years. Like black men specifically, they always get caught up in the esoteric knowledge. Like, let's focus on the last 40 years, which was we're still dealing with the effects of the crack epidemic. You know what I'm saying? Let's start there. Let's not go back 3,000 years and find out who the real Jews is. Let's start dealing with the stuff that we can take care of right now. The stuff we can prove. We can prove it for in our environment. We can prove, you know what I'm saying, they locked up all our fathers and grandfathers and things of that nature. We can prove that. You know, we can prove the prison industrial system. These are things that we can work with. Let's focus on that. And when I seen that, I was like, whoa, I got a poem about how crack affected my life. You know what I'm saying? And me, connections, he's a millennial, you know what I'm saying? So the references and everything I already know. I'm like, man, I didn't really see nobody talking about, you know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff. So, but he also speaking to the younger generation. Like, let's stop calling them YNs. That's just another thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's stop trying to get our kids to just play basketball and be a rapper. Right? Let's get into some trades. It's okay. Everybody ain't gotta go to college, but go get trades. Go get something. Like, do something other than, you know what I'm saying? You can drive trucks, you can just be an electrician, HVAC, you know what I'm saying? You can just all kind of things you can do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, come into the house. And he's telling the younger generation. So when I went down there, I'm sitting at the table with a 22-year-old electrician. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, me as a millennial, I didn't make none of those. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was preaching none of that to me. It was rap or drug dealer, sit with this ball. Or you pick up a ball, and I wasn't into sports. So I was, you know what I'm saying? That was already one side X out for me. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't going to be no drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? So I got into like technology. That's why I'm into computers and music. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was sort of my realm. You know what I mean? So then you can't really be a rapper and you ain't no drug dealer. Yeah. You gotta be in the streets. You gotta be a street rapper. That's true, man. You know what I'm saying? Or be a backpack rapper. Yeah, call it backpack rapper. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like it was an interesting time, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it was a great time, man. Phenomenal vibes. Have you heard of Investments? I have. This ain't Investments. He don't even like me. Really? Yeah, he be like, dang. Well, I don't think he don't like him. I think it's the fact that if you don't even got the basics down yet, you got people that follow them that don't even have it. They don't even know what to do with $4,000. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't really like, you know what I'm saying? That's not really the realm that he's not gonna fall in that realm. He's gonna fall in the realm of, look, let's get the fundamentals down. Let's do baby. Let's learn how to save 10K. Before we start talking about spend money. You know what I'm saying? You trying to make $1 million. You want a Corvette. That's a dream, man. It's a dream life. Let's do something. You want me to know what to do with $100,000? Most people that want $1 million, if they got $100,000 a day, they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. They'll be. So he, you know what I'm saying? Check the podcast out. You know what I'm saying? He said some controversial stuff. You know, got the people up in arms. He said, you know, like we have to be accountable for. You know, we gotta start being accountable for other black men on how they treat women. We out in public, you gotta be accountable for the moves. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if it's your boy and he acting a fool, you gotta say something. You know what I'm saying? You don't say nothing, you responsible. You know what I'm saying? So they was mad. The internet was mad. Of course, you know, the red pill guys, they came out and they like, I'm not being accountable for somebody else's actions. You don't even saying all that, bro. It's very, check one out, bro. Pick one of the recent ones. Recent hits podcast. Phenomenal. Check it out. You're going to really like what he had to say. You know what I'm saying? They had a whole, so basically, they had like a feathers, you know what I'm saying? You had to pay for food. Big old plate. Big old piece of chicken. I had chicken. I had some rice with some pickle. Like pickled, lettuce and something. Freaking delicious, man. They had grits and eggs with the gravy. He had collard greens. I had never had collard greens, grits and eggs, bro. Slamming. I had everything off the plate. All the catfish was gone by the time I got there. I was mad. I was telling you, I kind of get a piece of catfish, but next time I go to Atlanta, that's the first place I'm going. Black staff was phenomenal. Everybody smiling, no attitude. Look, and they were staffed. I went to Candace and her. Oh, they probably high quality. Okay, high. He got 5 restaurants. He got 5 restaurants. Just an egg, baby. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's in the back. That's my man's name. Yes, I
It's the violence. It's giving me a hard time because of its size, and so
Oh, appreciate it.
Yes. Need to get my face on.
You can have some real fun, but they will have something just right what you want. There it is. I may not be artist, but that's alright. If you're ready to build something you want, just
for the you want to record? Yeah. Listen, is that the earliest time you can do? It's only yeah.
That's well, I don't know. I mentioned it like, yeah, it might be something, but so he sent me 2 tracks. He was like, which one you feeling? And I was like, I like this one. So yeah, man, I like. When Birdie told me this might be it for you, like, man, I just another, you know, he sent me something.
You ready?
Going anyway.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Okay.
Yesterday she was
I was trying to see if Donna Stanley came out with her book, and she's gonna be doing a book signing on the 29th of tomorrow. At Books a Million in St. Helens. Mama crib. And I was seeing tomorrow at 6 p.m.
So it's trying to be packed. It's gonna be slammed.
I'm gonna see if I can get it signed.
Cause they were doing like 3 and just sitting there.
Right. They were doing like the ticket system where if you got a ticket, you can get it signed. But I'm gonna go up there anyway to see if might get a chance to get it signed. And sign a book.
See, she dropped the book.
Yeah. And Marcus Lattimore, run that UFC a few years back, but he in the fourth. Really? Well, he like dressed. He went from that to poetry. He was I wonder where Chef J is. She said she'll be here.
Oh, Chef J?
Yeah. She was here last week. I had an interview with her last week.
Oh, you did?
Fumbling. Okay. Trying to get it together.
Come on now, you got that.
All right, everybody, good morning. Please scan the QR code. That's how we take attendance. And if you are new with us, please scan and set up a login so that we can stay friends. And we will get started in 2 minutes.
Celebration move. Oh, you look.
Last week, I decided to be like, okay, it's a holiday, I'm not going to work.
Alright, 1 more minute. Go ahead and please scan the QR code. Thank you, everybody. Alright, I'm just going to get started with the housekeeping. So, welcome. It is Wednesday, May 28th, and we are 1 Million Cups. The mission of 1 Million Cups is to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for all types of new, seasoned, and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. So, we are one of many organizations across the U.S. that meet every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Our next closest chapter is in Charleston. So if you're ever in that area, pop into their 1 Million Cups to see what their presentations are like. We have key pillars. We give presentations, not pitches. We make authentic connections. We're not just networking. And we're radically and intentionally inclusive. And we're run for the community, by the community. And what I mean by that is these are the local businesses that donate their time, money, and energy to bring this to you every week. Of course, we are grateful to the USC Columbia Technology Incubator for housing us every Wednesday, and all of the businesses below donate time, energy, and money as well. If you have any interest in being one of our sponsors, let me know. I've got plenty of work to go around. And no, all you get is a lousy t-shirt. Show them, boys. That's it. Nothing other than that. All right? No payment, no gratitude. That's it. Yep. Our local program. We have been around for over 10 years. We are held weekly on Wednesday mornings. We've also had over 500 entrepreneur presentations. We offer educational topics like finance, future frame, networking, and provide local resources. We have one presenter every week with a 5 to 6 minute presentation, and we follow that with Q&A from the community. We also have made-it sessions with folks coming back who have made over $1 million and share their entrepreneurial stories. We are always free, we are always open to the public, and we do provide you with some free coffee in the back of the room. This is not a sales pitch. We're calling for presenters. If you are a local entrepreneur and you'd like to present with us, please apply here at that link or come and speak to me directly after the meeting today. Again, it's not an investor pitch. The goal is to have people understand what you do and some of the challenges you've had in building your business. We like new companies, so companies that are 0 to 5 years old and open to community engagements. Or if you've got an idea about a business you're thinking of starting and you want to bounce that here around the room, you can also come and present with that idea. We have 2 Facebook pages. One is our 1 Million Cups Facebook page, and this is our 1 Million Cups Columbia Facebook page. So this, if you will, is kind of our little family landing page. If you're not a member of it, please join. We really encourage engagement on here. If you have questions, comments, you want to share resources, this is where we get those conversations started. Upcoming presenters. So next week we're going to have Shanice Cleckley come back. She is a former 1 Million Cups organizer. I think she carried the torch through COVID, if I'm not correct. Yeah. So she's here to just going to come back and talk to us about what it was like being a organizer and how it benefited her, how she's just forever grateful to 1 Million Cups. After that, we have Mr. Alexander Kitchens. He's coming in to talk about his media marketing company. Miss Dana Watkins with Snapply Sites will be presenting on the 18th, followed by Miss Jada Willis, and she is with Jada Willis Consulting. Today, without further ado, I would like to present to you Miss Maya Ulmer. She is, first of all, an incredible artist, but she has a company, Ulmer Expressive Therapies, LLC, which brings vibrant and inclusive community-focused business, blending creativity with therapeutic practices. So please help me welcome Miss Maya to the floor while I get everything set.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
Awesome. My name is Maya Ulmer, and I am a licensed professional counselor in South Carolina and in Georgia. I'm a board-certified art therapist and a certified clinical trauma professional. And I'll be sharing with you today a little bit about my business, Ulmer Expressive Therapies, LLC. Challenge number 1. Clicker to There we go. All right. So again, I'll be sharing with you a bit about my background, how I got to where I am today, and how that's led to the work that I'm currently doing, what my goals are for the future of my business, and how you guys could be of some help today. So you see here some of my artwork, and if you were to ask my parents, they would probably tell you I was a bit of a menace as a child. The walls of our house became it became murals basically, where I would take coloring pencils, markers, crayons, anything that I could find basically, and create murals on the wall without permission. And I probably needed a bit more supervision, but here we are. And instead of my parents reprimanding me for the work that I was doing, they actually nurtured that craft that I had in art making. So they enrolled me in art programs in school, after school art programs, summer camps, you name it, so that I could continue to perfect my craft. And over time, I found that art making was more about what it made me feel and how it was able to help me kind of find what I'm passionate about versus what I could actually produce with the materials. So art was therapeutic for me. It became my voice, a large part of my identity, and it still is. And I found that art making was just something that I wanted to continue to do with my life. So after exploring an undergraduate degree from Claflin University in studio art and psychology, I got a master's degree from Florida State University in art therapy. And after completing that program, I went on to get the clinical experience needed, as well as the clinical supervision, become a licensed professional counselor, and take the examination process to also become board certified in art therapy. And through that work, I discovered that my passion, my vision, is to be able to provide therapeutic art making in a creative realm for those in the community. And just providing space for people to come together in a safe, non-judgmental way. It helps them to heal and provides growth and well-being. So an overview quickly of some of the things that I've done so far. I found myself working with at-risk youth, adolescents, adults, geriatrics, all the way across the lifespan. Mostly working in private practice. I've done outpatient mental health agencies, PHP and IOP level of care, inpatient hospitalization, and currently I'm working in a hospital setting. That's the attire I'm headed there after here. I've also taught on the collegiate level at Claflin University, and most recently ended my term as the board president for the South Carolina Art Therapy Association. So in 2022, I decided to found my own organization, Ulmer Expressive Therapies, LLC. So the experience that I've gained, just kind of transforming that into something of my own, that honed in on what I found that I'm most passionate about based on the work that I've done previously. So my goal is to help other individuals in the community, again, foster healing and growth by providing opportunities for them to get together in a creative realm. So far, I'm also helping individuals that are passionate about art making and psychology become registered art therapists. So I provide them with clinical supervision and mentorship. I'm also doing individual counseling for individuals that want to work on improving their mental health. And again, pop-up art events. I recently had one in Orangeburg, South Carolina at C&M Community Outreach Center, and here in Columbia at Columbia Craft Brewing Company. Goals for the future are, again, to kind of become like a central hub where individuals can come together to create art and find how therapeutic that space is. I want to provide group therapy services, pop-up, again, art events that incorporate expressive therapies outside of just visual art, like music therapy, drama therapy, even incorporating like nutrition education, gardening, just holistic approach. And an artist in residence program too, where individuals that are more experienced artists can come together and have designated workspaces and a gallery space, all the works, but in a physical location. I found so far with the work that I've done, some of the challenges have been expanding my marketing to individuals outside of just family and friends. So I'm seeing the same people, which is fine, but it's not growing at the rate that I would like it to. And I'm currently just using social media platforms that I have, like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, to let other people know about what I'm doing. But again, it's not kind of reaching out and growing past maybe about 20 people per event. And I'm also utilizing my skills, so art making, visual art, painting, as the medium for most of my events, whereas I would like to bring in more individuals that have other backgrounds of the expressive therapies to kind of expand on that. So help that I'm needing is with branding, marketing, grants or funding opportunities to expand on what I'm doing, any community resources or partnerships, and eventually, once I've kind of honed in on what I want to do, a physical space for expansion. Thank you guys for your time, and if you scan the QR code, it'll take you to my Facebook business page. Thank you very much.
Open it up to the room. So here we go. She is ready for your input.
Okay, yes.
Begin.
Hi. So did I hear you correctly that you're looking for like artists in residence opportunities?
Yes, ma'am. Currently, not just yet, because that will be once I have a physical space where I can offer like rooms for rent. So typically in my mind, I've seen artists in residence have like designated workspaces that they can come to at any time where they bring their own materials. It's kind of like a mini studio where they work. So I don't have the opportunity to provide that just yet since I don't have a physical place, but that is a goal for in the future.
Well, as the outgoing entrepreneur in residence at Richland Library,
Okay.
Richland Library actually have an artist in residence program.
All right.
So I would suggest that it's called Arts in Residence,
Okay.
that you look into that to see how you can provide your services. And I know how the entrepreneur part is set up. It's extremely flexible.
Okay.
So when you were presenting, I was thinking about that could be an ideal opportunity for you.
Thank you for sharing that.
All right. Mr. Anthony.
Yes, sir.
Do you have classes for people that cannot draw at all?
Of course. So I feel like that's sometimes a stigma associated with art therapy, that you have to be an artist, but anyone can benefit from art therapy because it's more about the therapeutic process and not what you can produce. So any beginner level, from first time picking up a crayon to an experienced artist, can participate in any of the events. It's about community connection, the healing, and as you're utilizing the materials, what comes up for you and how you're able to work through that. So as a licensed practitioner, I can assist people with doing that. So any level of experience is fine, but for the artist in residence program, that would be more experienced artists. Yes, sir.
Is any of this qualified to be covered by insurance or anything?
So for the individual counseling, if I'm paneled with insurance companies, that could be billed for them. I'm currently self-pay, so that means I'm also somewhat limited in who I can see if they have the funds to be able to work with me, but I'm pretty flexible with my costs. But that is something that I'm interested in because I think that will allow more individuals to be able to get the services. Being paneled with insurance would then help with individual counseling. I think that the studio aspect that I want, though, will be more self-pay. But some of the services, like when guest practitioners might come in with other expressive needs, they could also bill insurance. So that might be something to look into. Yes, ma'am.
What college did you? Because I'm looking to go into music therapy. I got my bachelor's at Columbia College in music, and I was looking through vocational rehabilitation at
Right.
the VA. So I'm wondering what college did you? Is it the same art therapy as far as to become
A music therapist?
right? I was looking into
A little bit separate. We are both expressive therapies, but
Mhm.
accredited under different companies.
Okay.
So we're the American Art Therapy Association.
Mm-hmm.
So under ATA, the abbreviation, we find accredited universities that have an art therapy program.
Okay.
So I went to Florida State University
Oh,
since it was
okay.
closest to here. where
I
I'm
think
from.
Charleston is an art music therapy college. In
I
Charleston.
recommend looking into the Music Therapy Association, and I'm sure on their site they'll have also a list of accredited programs
Okay.
and finding which one is a good fit for you. But I found that you want to go to an accredited program. It makes the licensing so much easier down the line versus trying to justify the work that you've done in schools.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I love poetry. I love art.
Thank you.
But I think what you're doing, like you said, is just keep on pushing and trying to find that right niche. That's the biggest thing. But I think just getting around in rooms like this and getting around the right people, networking, and just keep pushing. I think that's the biggest thing. But keep doing what you're doing, especially because I see the passion that you have and I see the credentials that you have. And it's just a matter of getting in the right person, right room, and
Yes, ma'am.
that's it.
I appreciate my fiance here. I'll shout him out.
Woo woo. Woo woo.
It's about a month ago or so,
Yeah.
and then came home and told me about it. You should apply. I had no idea what it was,
Yeah.
but I appreciate being here with you guys. Already just seeing the opportunities and the networking that we can do through this. So thank you.
Yeah.
For like military contract or something, go with the military because
I would love to. I've been trying to get in with the VA for all my years and have been unsuccessful. And that's just because, unfortunately, with my background being in art therapy for my master's, despite all the credentials, if it's not in mental health counseling, it doesn't matter. So if you got any resources to get in the VA, thank you. But that would be great too, because I have worked with veterans, and that's a population I'm interested in continuing to do work with. So I'm just not sure how to get in there. They do have positions for creative art therapists through the VA, but I don't see a whole lot of those, especially with what's going on in politics. Some of the positions that are, I guess, seen as a specific need, those are kind of taken away a little bit.
Dr. Jones.
So you mentioned that you needed help in marketing. I'm curious to know who ideally you want to serve, because ideally you can't serve everyone, right? And so your marketing has to be geared towards who you actually want to serve. And so what kind of research have you done towards that? And have you kind of identified that unique avatar? Who are you really trying to reach?
Right. And so I would love, like you said, to help everyone, because I think everybody can benefit from just a creative expression. But if I had to hone in on a population, I'm thinking adolescents and young adults. Because that age range is going through a lot of life adjustments, kind of identity development, figuring out who they are, and having a healthy outlet, I feel like, is essential during that time period. So we're talking high school students up until maybe about 35 that's just kind of getting into the workforce and navigating where do I want to be, what am I interested in. And so
that's still a huge range.
So if we had to hone in then a little bit more, I'd say young adults. So around the 20s, that year.
So then that should definitely dictate where you're putting your marketing dollars, right? And who you're strategically partnering with. If you're looking at young adults, you might want to look at like trade schools that are coming in, or government programs like Job Corps, where people are transitioning from a high school, a traditional high school, and into a trades-based thing, and where they often have the need for this kind of therapy, but also your higher performing high schools that are opening up that aspect to their students. I don't know about Richmond one, but I know my son just graduated from Lexington, River Bluff, I think it's Lexington one. And they have so much innovative curriculum and things and resources for students in those areas that it would seem like a no-brainer to partner with either a nonprofit in that area that's serving, or the school district as a contract to provide curriculum for their students that are struggling in other areas, and art therapy might be a way of helping them come through high school completed. Those are the things that jump to mind for me if you're going to focus on those folks. If you're talking about older folks outside of the traditional high school adolescent, I have another son who's in that range, right? He's 19, get ready to turn 20. Don't know anything about life, right? But is very anxious about things in general about life. And you can blame him with everything that's going on. But being able to identify those folks through either a Midlands Tech or some other traditional institution that may need those services will help you target those not quite young adults that are transitioning into the professional world, and help them with that kind of therapy that might be needed to calm anxieties and things of that nature.
Okay, thank you for that.
Could I make a suggestion?
Yes, ma'am.
Richmond One is getting a new superintendent.
Okay.
So you may want to send a letter to him I mean, before he actually gets in there. No.
The
new superintendent. And just describe what you've done and what your interest is. And because the need is there in terms of trying to get kids on board, whether they're young or the older children too.
Can I add to what she said? I'm a more now. But what she's saying is true, but I think you also need to have the information that of how it is beneficial to them.
Right.
Because when you talk about the superintendent, he's going to come in with his own agenda.
Target to the audience.
Right, exactly. You got to figure out what is important to them. Maybe sit down, have a coffee conversation about where he, or I think it is a he, is trying to guide the district, right, and what the mandate may be, and then you can say, you know what, this is where we can help. We can help with these kind of things. But it's always got to be a win-win situation. Like, so, it's not to say that you minimize what you've done, but it's always got to be like, okay, this is what I have done, and this is how I can help you.
Right.
Otherwise, it gets lost in the sauce.
That would be kind of to me like a capability statement, where that be your credentials of what you have done, and then what you're capable of doing.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
First off, is that your work on the wall? And
Oh, this part? No,
Yeah.
The previous one in the beginning.
You gotta point back.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I went too big.
Okay. This one. These are all my pieces.
Okay. I was just curious who's working. But anyway, getting back. Okay, so I know what you do. From what I'm hearing, you want to sell it through classes. That's what you're looking to do. Is there another way that you want to bring people in groups to give them this therapy? Or are you looking to do one-on-one? Is it group that you're looking to accomplish?
I'm not interested in selling my art. What I'm interested in doing is...
No. You're selling expressive therapy. You want to teach them to do it. Do you want to do it in a classroom style? Do you want to do it in groups? Do you do it one-on-one? That's what I'm trying to... What is your product that you're marketing?
So it's a little bit of community where individuals can come together in an open studio concept. So think about this space here where the tables are set up with art materials, easels, clay, what have you. And you can come in and gravitate towards whatever you want to use. So there's no commitment. You can come as you would like, utilize the materials, and over time you're learning this is actually helpful. It's healing. I'm able to connect with other individuals while I'm here, and this is therapeutic. Then there's another level where those that want to hone in on the expressive therapies, on art therapy, I offer individual counseling. So as a licensed counselor, but also an art therapist, we can work individually one-on-one. There's also group therapy. So some of the people that might be coming in from the community, they might find that, hey, I really like this. This helps me to be expressive. I want to join in on some of the groups that you offer maybe once a week to, again, kind of explore and work on my own personal healing. Then on the next floor, there's that artist in residence program. So experienced artists are just coming in as they may in their designated workspace. So we've got a community aspect, there's individual therapy, group therapy. So it's a lot of modalities that are happening where you can kind of find what works for you. And bringing in guest practitioners that offer other expressive therapies in the group therapy aspect. So offering different groups, maybe there's a music therapy group once a week that they can come into. There's a drama therapy, a creative writing group that comes in the group therapy aspect. The community part is still running, up and running. It's kind of like a walk-in, utilizing the materials. Individual counseling is as scheduled with me. Might bring in other licensed therapists too. That might want to rent out the space and offer therapy there as well. And then again, the place upstairs, the artist in residence, that's operating full time. Yeah.
Now this place doesn't exist yet, though.
No.
Okay, well
This is just my vision. Right.
Well, that's why I'm kind of getting more. I'm going to kind of in the moment gal. I don't really go past what the moment is and what I can do in the moment. And I was asking because I was wondering if you know who Candace Thompson is.
No.
Okay, Candace Thompson is a woman locally who runs an art studio. It started out where she went and everybody came and she taught them how to paint, kind of like a wine and paint. And she went out and did it. and then she purchased and she got her own building and started doing it in there, and she's been very successful in growing it. And from a business perspective, I would love to connect you with her, because I think the amount of information that you could glean from her by what she's done, I've watched these last 7 years, and it's just been remarkable what she's accomplished. She's very well known in Columbia because she's done it all. She's been at all the expos, she's been at all the shows, she's gone to all the places and, traveled with her canvases and her paints. And so and then there's another gal in town who also does not quite what you do. She does more trauma work through her painting. And I don't know if you mentioned you're looking to meet other people in the same space. If that's something you'd like to do, I'll also facilitate an invitation there. Because when I came today, I kind of was going to call her and say, I think you should meet this woman because you do very similar things, but she specializes specifically in women's trauma.
Okay.
And through her expressive therapy. So that's why I asked, because, I'm like, I would love to see you be able to accomplish this in the moment before the building exists and before those ideas come, being able to get in rooms full of people and help them. So that was just why I was asking. Great job today.
Thank you. And that name again for the last lady, the trauma informed part?
Mary Jo Briggs.
Mary Jo Briggs. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Suggestion and also a question. I have a good associate. She was in Mission 2.
Okay.
Her main focus is on young people in the military, but she's also one of the head honchos of this Mission 2. I suggest that she's been in the military herself. She's always looking for open doors to come in, because you mentioned like how you like to get into the base.
Right.
You give her people who's already in, who already know the people who to contact, and the people who not to contact. Some people focus on who to contact, not realizing you also go through the process of finding out who your potential enemies is.
That's right.
On that one. Because you're going in there, keep in mind, you're on the foundation of fighting a battle to get in an area that has not been tapped in.
Right.
Now you're going in that, also you're coming in with the ammunition of getting you the right people who you connect with to help you win the war.
Okay.
On the record for that. So I get you in contact with her, connect y'all together, and I step on out y'all way, that y'all two brilliant young ladies do y'all thing.
Yes, sir.
And then go ahead on and do where your heart is and where your goal and dream is. So that way I think you could definitely prosper and achieve so much more quicker, but yet do it correctly.
Okay.
Based on military law, rules, and regulations. On that way. So that's how you get in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
On that way, because I dealt with the military. I can show you some things to do and what not to do. So to also help you. And I know what the procurement contracts is all about. And I also know certain industry based on need now.
Okay.
What you need to contact in order for what you to do. And I can connect you with some other people there. The second thing I'm going to ask you about, how deeply are you involved in color psychology?
In what psychology?
Color psychology.
We're talking about like multicultural, or what do you mean by color psychology?
Certain colors you can put in certain sequence that has a direct effect on the subconscious mind.
Okay. I don't have too much experience with that. Willing to learn.
That's part of my world too.
All right now.
So to get based on your art and to share with you how certain colors, if you work in conjunction with them, to have a positive effect on the individual. So as you are presenting what you see, what you bring to light, by putting in, and I see the diversity of the colors, and I see some colors as you go and put one in conjunction with the other, it bring more or less a dramatic effect
Emphasis, right.
on that. And I think that will also help you out as well.
Okay.
So again, I'll give you my information, get together, connect you up. And again, as I stated earlier, I get out your way and let you do your thing.
He's quite capable.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I love the color psychology idea, and I know you were talking about branding. I think finding your particular combination of colors could be really powerful. I'm a web designer, not a marketing expert, but I was thinking about you saying that you want to connect with young adults. I'm 25. And I was thinking one potential way to do some outreach that's maybe more casual and has a lower barrier of entry is to partner with local breweries, local other establishments that do.
I'll let you finish.
Okay. Okay. Do a therapeutic art night, like a draft and craft, but with substance to it. And my one thought as a web designer is if you do that, you definitely want to plug your social media and start an email list so that all the people who get to know you stay in touch with you. Because the actual event itself probably won't be super profitable, but the idea is to get people into your network so they continue to have communication and learn what you're doing after that.
Did that. So Columbia Craft Brewing Company was my last event in January. They didn't do any marketing for me, wouldn't allow me to post any flyers in the building. I wasn't on their social media at all. So it was just solely my Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, letting other individuals know. But at my events, I do have like an email list where kind of like sign in, let's stay in touch. What's your name, your address, your phone number, all that. And I let them know about future events too. So those same people are coming. But I thought that would have been like the opportunity to get other people that I don't see. And it just kind of fell through, but that's not to say that other breweries wouldn't market.
Yeah, you definitely want one that will market for you, because that's the whole reason that strategy
that's what I thought.
worked. I'm really surprised they didn't.
Yes.
One quick question: what's going to separate you from a regular sip and paint? Because everybody does sip and paints these days.
It's different though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. What's going to separate you? And I'm thinking because you're more therapeutic. What about the people who do the right now what do you call that? The bowls,
the singing bowls.
Yeah, people who do that, the yogas, right, that crowd of people. Because I'm into that. I like all of that stuff. Have you thought about that crowd of people? And what separates you from the sip and paint?
Okay. So the sip and paint, I've worked there. I've done that. And the difference is it's more freestyle. I'm instructing you guys how to paint something that you see up here, right? It's more realistic doing the steps. It can be fun, but it's not therapeutic in that sense that I'm trying to accomplish.
So what if I'm going through something? So what's the difference? Why should I come to you versus a sip and paint if I have things going on? Why should I come to you versus
And that's why we exposure to art therapy. That's the difference between therapeutic art making and art therapy. They're two separate concepts. So you can have a coloring book and you can work on it and be mindful and you find it to be therapeutic. That's great. That's art as therapy. Art therapy is something totally different where you have a licensed practitioner that's helping you to utilize the different materials, different directives, helping to process the artwork. So there's another level of understanding and quality that can come out of the experience versus doing something on your own that doesn't have that trauma background maybe or has worked with different mental health disorders. You have something else with the singing bowl. So I'm interested in bringing in guest practitioners that have other expressive therapies. So whether that might be an opportunity for people that come in and do that singing bowl aspect, or again music therapy or other therapies, because this is a holistic wellness center. Trying to kind of step away from I'm doing individual counseling, but I wanted to be more expressive media. So things where it's less talk therapy, but more action, more doing. So incorporating other therapies like that, and then that might bring you in because you're not just making art, but there's exposure to so many other ways to be creative, right? So you can do the pain and sip, but then you kind of walk away unfulfilled in the aspect of, but I'm still struggling with this, this life stressor that I have. This was fun, it was a distraction. Whereas you're coming here, but you're working through and you're processing with a licensed practitioner. You know?
You can do like Barbara. Yeah, you just paint the line.
So let me ask you a question. So you book out, say if I want to host a couples therapy, so can you do that type of party? I'm like I call it a better party.
We're talking a pain and sip for a couple or a couples therapy?
Couples therapy. 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 Couples ther
Okay.
Do you do something like that? I'm just curious to know.
I haven't, but I could.
Okay.
I have, under my business, I do offer individual counseling.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't had any couples as of yet, but that's the
So like
service
a
I
couple
could
therapy
provide.
party, I mean like paint, I'm just curious to know that.
I'm trying to understand. So a paint party where you guys are having fun, it's a couple that's like having a paint night, or are we doing counseling?
Like a therapy session,
Incorporating
if I had some couples come over, say if it's maybe 10 couples.
And having issues like Judy? Like
a therapy, like a couple therapy.
So not for fun, not like a date night, but more like help them bond or work together.
Like a couples retreat, kind of like how people do like a couple retreat
that's
type.
Like say if I have couples, like a lot of couples have issues with marriage and
I think I would market it a bit differently, but I could offer that.
Okay.
It sounds more like kind of like a group aspect where
Right.
there's couples involved
Right.
and we're making art, and in
Right.
the process it's therapeutic.
Right.
Whereas I'm not going to each individual couple and working
Right.
through our stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not counseling in that aspect, but it's therapeutic art making.
Right.
Where we have a group of couples.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way in the back.
Yes.
Just a thought, just hearing you explain the difference between what you do and what's already available out there. Have you ever thought, or do you have that explanation on video anywhere?
Not me personally.
My thought process is because you're targeting a younger avatar. These younger generations, they don't crack books open, they don't read, they watch everything.
It's scroll.
Right. Everything is TikTok, everything is video, even on social media, everything is just geared towards video. So I would suggest having that conversation. Like, I wish somebody would have recorded that. So you can take that snippet and just put it on social, because the passion that you have, it shows.
Thank you.
The knowledge that you have is there. But they will never see that if they weren't in this room.
Just to comment on that, I went to your Instagram. Your Instagram is private, which is fine if that's the way you want it. But I would make a public one for the business so that those folks can find you. Because I tried to connect with you, but I have to wait for you to say it's okay. So if you have people who are scrolling and seeing you, I would, and do all of your talking and your video making, and so make something that's accessible to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
And
was
write it.
really powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this
And I
was
thought you had
recorded
a
if you
question.
need
Once-
to reference back to what you said.
Say that again.
This was recorded if you want, right here at the camera, recorded if you need reference back to what you said.
Thank you. Right, your question, yes.
So I have a couple of things based off what other people have suggested. So I have a nonprofit, Possible Moms. We focus on helping and healing single mothers. We do provide like a holistic approach, so I wanted to talk to you, maybe we could do a workshop with that. Most of the moms that I connect with are in that 20 age range, so I can talk to you offline about that. Also, I have a connection at the VA, so I took a what's called whole health class at the VA where they offer art therapy, music therapy, different types of therapy in that whole health category. So I have a contact I can give you for that. I also have a contact at the National Guard. I'm ex-military. I know the Guard has a lot of younger people that go through things, but we don't get the same opportunities as full active duty soldiers. So outside of the weekend that we're on drill, we got to deal with life problems on our own unless you're full-time guard. So I have a connect at the Guard, but they may probably move you to someone else because this person, we just are real close. They're higher in rank. They work in the IT field, which is my background, but they may know somebody that can point you in the right direction. Also, I'm about to be a general manager at a coffee shop that's opening locally here by the riverfront. So if you want to do pop-ups or something, just let me know. And we'll help you market.
Awesome.
Also, if you're open to traveling, so like she said, the holistic. I have a friend in Atlanta. She has a holistic wellness center. She does that sound bowl healing. She's a doula by trade, but she does pretty much everything. Her focus is more so on women, but she's trying to move into men too. So I know she would love to connect with you and maybe do an event together in Atlanta. And then I also have a social media manager that I can connect you with that can help you turn your content into reels, videos, help you build your social media. That's what she does for her business. So,
thank you. You appreciate that. Anthony.
If you're gonna go the school district route, I would suggest marketing what you're doing as behavioral health.
Right.
And they've been over backwards.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a substitute teacher. That's how
I know school counselors are catching hell because we're very few.
and also work with the special needs community. That's a big underserved market here.
All in the world.
I'm wondering too, to jump in, if nursing homes or like the senior community, if you would approach some of those nursing homes and see if they would allow you to do something for their community. Yeah, just coming off the top of my head. I don't know. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, excuse me. I have an organization that I would like to share with you
Okay.
at the end. So, because I think they might find this very useful. They may already be doing it in terms of the art therapy, but it can't hurt. All you can do is reach out.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Bob, you want to give her the final question?
Well, thanks for the presentation. It's awesome artwork, but what can 1 million cups do for you?
I think you've done it. What haven't you done, right? I think 1 million steps has been amazing so far. Just connecting me to the right avenues to further my passion, my business. So just continue to provide support.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you,
thank
guys.
you, everybody. So if you need to connect, please connect with Maya. Share those resources with you. And I'll see you all next week. Thank you.
Okay.
In the library.
Start.
The video.
That's what you was focused on, girl. You did a phenomenal job. You know, I keep working on the word. Knock them out of the park.
That sounds right.
Because I didn't want to read it. I don't know why they just come in and throw out plugs in there. I was like, I could have came in there, plugged it up, and talked to me. The video, the movie comes on.
Well, we're not letting know that yet. We're still working on it.
So what is it going to be on?
Put them in front of some lights. Yes, ma'am.